I'm talking about the natural human psyche here. This
But
is,
they're not natural, man. They're Red Bull. It gives you
look,
wings.
all right, hey, they're getting paid. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Revved Up Podcast. Thank you for joining us wherever you choose to get your podcast. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe, rate and review us. My name is Marwan Osman, and I am joined, of course, by the one and only Edgar O'Neill. Edgar, what's going on, man?
Hello, hello. Not much, man. I got opinions and I got feelings.
Wow. And we are going
Yeah.
to get into both of those things. Now, all right. So Formula One out in Nippon, the land of
Ooh.
rising sun, Suzuka circuit. It was a fun one, I would say. Overall, we had an interesting race, an interesting start to the race. Essentially, we got two starts to the race, right?
Yeah.
There was that opening chain reaction of crashes that I think was started by Sergio Perez.
Yeah.
Um, and then after that, they had to clean up the debris, brought out the safety car, and then
It was like the first 6 laps were under safety car.
yeah, it did kind of last a little longer than expected. But but once it went in, that was it. We were clear to restart the race. And yeah, Max Verstappen saw that safety car go in. He said, "Deuces,"
Yeah.
and took off. He said, "I'll see you guys at the finish line. Leave the peasants to fight over the rest of this."
Not even in the cool down room.
It's
Yeah.
like I have things to do here. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
cruise on over, and won by I don't even know, 20 seconds, I think 30 seconds. It's hard to keep track at this point. Yeah. So yeah, another win for Max Verstappen. Overall, the race itself, from my point of view, it got a little sleepy there
Yeah.
in the middle, but the large chunk of what we'll be talking about today came from the ending there. So overall, what were your thoughts on this one?
I agree with you. I walked away thinking and kind of feeling that I was like, oh, that was, not the most entertaining race. But honestly, like so much happened.
Yeah.
So I don't quite understand why we felt that way.
Hmm.
But yeah, no,
So
we're on the same
are
page.
you telling me that you didn't stay up till 1 a.m. to watch this race?
I did not. I
Wow,
did not.
I
Could
have
have.
to question your dedication.
Oh yeah, what'd you do? What'd
I
you
was
do, sir?
asleep. I was asleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Uh-huh. Yeah.
thought.
Nope. Woke up. All right. Hey, little tea and Formula One. Nothing wrong with that. That's pretty
Yeah,
much how my Sundays usually go, anyways.
that's a
So
good.
yeah, but overall, though, it was fun. We've the amount of interesting things that happened in the end there made up for that
Yeah,
stretch in the middle there. Um, but no, obviously one of the biggest talking points here. Well, we at least have to discuss this, right? Red
Mhm.
Bull are your 2023
Oh yeah.
constructors champions.
Congratulations, Red Bull.
We
We thought it'd be harder.
Now, fun fact, this segment was actually recorded back after the Miami Grand Prix. So we're just playing this for the people now. But no, this has been the most predictable outcome that we've had,
Yeah.
honestly. No surprise here. Overall, though, thoughts on Red Bull? Let's just get it out there.
All right. I feel like this weekend really kind of shifted my perspective on Sergio.
Really?
Yeah, because this was a bad race for him. Like he was hitting people, you know. I just yeah,
Uh,
I the
there
fact
was,
that they still won Constructor, even though he DNF'd.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
I don't
not
know.
even close to Constructors. There was a scene in there. Well, I say scene like it's a like a scripted TV show. There was a moment in the race where Max Verstappen came in. I think it was for his second pit stop. Came
Mhm.
in, got everything done, came out. The camera just pans over back to Sergio Perez sitting in his car because they were bringing him back out there to serve those penalties. But
Yeah,
I thought that moment just perfectly encapsulates this whole season for Red Bull. You
yeah.
have one driver just driving off into the distance, celebrating, getting all the glory, and then Sergio Perez just sitting there waiting to go back in to serve his penalties.
It
Now,
was really rough seeing that.
look, he had a bad race, all right, and by and large, he's had a bad season. What
Mhm.
we're not gonna do is pretend like he hasn't contributed to this
Yeah.
Constructors Cup, right? I
Yeah. I mean,
mean,
technically, yeah, he has. Yeah.
he has done his. I mean, he's contributed. It's
Yeah.
a little bit somewhat like, the person that joins the class project and gets an A, by being a part of the group. But like,
I'll just say my one like kind of feeling about it. I felt like Bottas contributed more when Hamilton. So now I kind of do get what Hamilton said like the 2 weekends ago.
oh yeah, when he took that random shot at Sergio Perez.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, this is just an all-time historic team performance that we're seeing from the strategists, the engineers, Max Verstappen, and that's the big one right there, Max
Yeah.
Verstappen. It helps to have a guy that is just constantly 30 seconds ahead of second place. But no, this was, to me, it was fun to watch, just a dominating performance. The combination of Max Verstappen in, what is arguably one of the most dominant cars we've seen
Yeah.
in Formula One history. But yeah, not much to be said after that. The real question is, where do we go from here? Do you think the team is just kind of just going to coast their way to the end, to the finish line here?
No. I mean, I think the structure at Red Bull wouldn't allow for that.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like they were
I
pretty
don't know. It's To me, it's kind of has like similar vibes to like senior year, like,
really.
in between like the final picnic and like graduation, that
Mm,
stretch of time where you're kind of just chilling, That's kind of how I imagine all the engineers, everyone who's not Sergio Perez is coming into work that day. It's like that weird stretch of time in work where it's like the holiday season, I guess, post Christmas break, but like before New Year's, you
I
know?
would have just said like the 3:30 to 5 o'clock
No,
time.
no, no, I'm trying to show a big picture thing here. Like,
Okay.
there's that time where it's like, we just finished Christmas, we got New Year's coming up, everybody's taking
Mhm.
PTO,
Yeah.
people aren't really working. That's and all that to say that, hey, look, in that complacency, we might see a team or two, sneak one from Red Bull. Because,
Okay.
hey,
Well, Red Bull and Red Bull fans, I don't think that.
look, man, I'm talking about the natural human psyche here. This
But
is
they're not natural, man. They're Red Bull. It gives you
Look,
wings.
all right, hey, they're getting paid regardless now. They won
Yeah.
that prize money. They got that first place prize money. Look, it's now at this point, it's, hey, we can have some fun here. But now, kudos to Red Bull.
Mhm.
Can't take
Constructors
anything.
2023.
Constructors Cup World Champions. Well, Max Verstappen, world
Yeah.
champion, coming soon. We might as well just record that segment right now.
Yeah.
But
Congrats.
congrats to Max Verstappen on the 2023 Constructors World Champion, whatever drivers. At this point, just give him every single trophy that's ever been
Yeah.
invented. But yeah, anyways, beyond Red Bull dominating,
Mhm.
we did have drivers fighting for the rest of the field there. One battle for me that stuck out was the Mercedes versus Ferrari battle. Now, in that battle, though, you had an internal battle
Yeah.
between Lewis Hamilton and George Russell,
Yeah.
which, I guess, they ended up swapping them out in the last couple laps, and
Do
they
you think
tried to
that?
do they tried to do what Carlos Sainz did last week.
But they still swapped.
Look, like, no, so yeah, they swapped them out, and the plan was for Lewis Hamilton to have George Russell right behind him with DRS, right?
Yeah. But why didn't they just? Yeah.
Look,
Sorry.
all right, hey, the point is it didn't work, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work at all, and we had Carlos Sainz basically laughing at them, saying, "Huh, they think they're me." Which,
Yeah.
all right, relax, Carlos, feeling yourself a little bit there, Mister. He's
Mm.
intimidating me. I haven't forgotten about that.
That
I haven't
was a good
forgotten
callback.
about that.
That was a good
Um,
callback.
but nah, Lewis clearly had the pace there, and I don't know, they really had no choice but to swap them and let Lewis kind of run away here. Otherwise, Carlos probably would have gotten both of them. Um, but
Okay, you put it that way.
Yeah. And also, maybe there was a little bit of, hey, last week, we had this late surge and George Russell was leading this thing. Hey, it didn't really work out too well for him. The pressure might have gotten to him. How about this time, George? You just
Yeah.
let Lewis lead this thing. You hang back a little bit. I'm sure nobody actually said that, and that's not what happened at all. But like some people were thinking it.
I don't know. Do you think that the strategy would have worked if they hadn't swapped?
Which strategy would that be?
The giving Lewis DRS to
no.
Actually, I do think it would have been better because Lewis is the more experienced driver, so he should have stayed behind to defend.
Well, look, it's hard to defend when the car behind you is just better. All right, that's a conversation we can have. Wait, what?
That sounds like an excuse.
Look, I mean, there's only so much you can do because he would be trapped kind of between his teammate and Carlos Sainz in an awkward position, and I do think Carlos Sainz would have just gotten past both of them. But no, they made the right call, and Mercedes is clearly telling us that, hey, we have our number one driver. This thing is this we know who our number one driver is, unlike Ferrari here. But no, just overall thoughts on that battle that we had there between the Mercedes drivers.
I mean, it was entertaining.
Yeah,
it made for good racing.
Mm-hmm.
Strategy wise, I think we know where I stand. I'm not sure if it was.
And you know what? You can continue to say that because we'll never be able to prove otherwise. We have no idea in this hypothetical world, maybe in a different universe, different timeline here.
My hypothetical strategy game is on freaking point.
Just say things that we can never prove wrong, and then you'll never be wrong.
Yeah, you know what? I think Nicholas Latifi would have won the world championship this year.
And we can't say that he wouldn't have. There is a timeline in this multiverse where Nicholas Latifi is in a Red Bull and he is dominating. And I wish I was there to see that. But no, overall though, we had Leclerc was there too. I guess he had a solid race. I only want to bring him up because there was a moment in time there. Well, this happened after the race. Leclerc really thought that he was passing Max Verstappen at the end there, but it turned out to be Sergio Perez serving his penalty lap out of the way. That is something that honestly I wouldn't admit to people. I would keep that one to myself. But no, it's just funny to think, hey,
must have been so happy.
I got him. And then, just goes right by him. But no, overall that whole battle was fun. Now, this battle that we have here between Mercedes and Ferrari going forward, that second place spot, there's a lot of money at stake here. These teams are fighting for it. We've had this conversation before. We're a little closer to the finish line now. You are of the belief that Ferrari won't be challenging Mercedes. Want to walk that back a little bit? Here's your chance.
I still think Mercedes will come out on top just because it still shows that Mercedes is still consistent. And with Sainz moving up, I feel like that also shows that Ferrari isn't consistent. So by the end of this season, I still think Mercedes is going to come out on top of them.
So in a way, I kind of want to see how this plays out because this kind of, to me, what I've been saying is if you have two number one drivers, you don't have a number one driver at all. Mercedes clearly has a number one driver here. Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, as much as he hates to admit it, is the number two driver here. So this kind of pits those two strategies against one another. And it will be interesting to see how this plays out because obviously this will be the definitive answer, how this plays out. But no, I do think obviously going the route of Red Bull here and just throwing everything you have behind one driver and saying screw the other one is the way to do it. I mean, look, it's there. We see it. It's right in front of us.
It works.
But no, I do think Mercedes is also going to hold on to this thing, but it is going to come down to the wire here. Honestly, though, the Ferrari is the faster car. That's just what it's looked like. But
strategy. You know,
Strategy,
the mental race that the
mental.
drivers have to do.
Yes. And of course, having a 7-time world champion on your team helps out a lot there too. But no, looking forward to it though. At least we have that to look forward to, because we definitely don't have a battle for first to look forward to. That's we've kind of like gotten used to this, right? Like
Yeah,
this is our normal. So in a way, it's helped out, and it makes us appreciate those seasons where
yeah,
it's wide open a little bit more.
yeah.
Um,
Fingers crossed. Next season's a bit more competition.
we'll see. It's unlikely though, man.
Yeah.
Like so I don't normally care about free practice, but
Mhm.
just seeing the Red Bull dominate free practice, I was like, hey, you're not supposed to have this one too. You're supposed to you're supposed to let us go into qualifying with just a little bit of hope
Mhm.
that somebody might get something here. But
Well,
no,
was it both of them or was it?
I think it was just Verstappen. I could be wrong, but yeah, either way, just seeing Verstappen, because during free practice we again, don't take too much from it, right?
Mhm.
But it does sometimes just give me a little bit of hope when I see these other teams stepping up. But no, it went exactly how we expected it to go, and that battle for second is something that we will be watching.
Mhm.
Now, let's talk about your team here.
Oh
Have
yeah,
some
let's
fun.
do it. It was a
Um,
good one for us.
hey, great
Got a maiden
weekend.
podium.
Great weekend for McLaren here. Double podium finish. First one since
No idea.
Monza
Yes.
2021.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Danny
Okay.
Rick and Lando on that one. They 1 and 2 finish on that one. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Valtteri Bottas joined them too. Yeah.
So what? So huh? Okay.
A lot has changed, but
Yeah.
also so little has changed at the same time.
Mhm.
Um, but
Deep
anyways,
surprise.
double podium finish for McLaren. Great weekend for them. Um, just here, the floor is yours. You're the McLaren fan here.
Okay.
How are we feeling right now? Speak on behalf of McLaren fans everywhere.
All right. Focusing on the race. Beautiful race. We got some battles. We got some wins. For overall, honestly, what I came away thinking with this race is it makes me really hopeful for the beginning of next season, because they're already developing the car. I'm hoping that they're taking what they're learning from, because ever since the upgrades, we've been on the upward track, you know?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, definitely 2024. Here's my bold statement for 2024. Third in constructors.
Wow. Okay. And hey, that's a real possibility. I mean, they're fighting for fourth here.
Yeah.
But this was an all-time great performance that we had from McLaren. The future definitely is bright.
Mhm.
Um, as far as talent goes, you have Oscar Piastri, who has shown that, hey, he belong. One out of these three rookies that we have this season has shown that they belong.
He's not the first rookie podium, is he? This
Uh,
year?
this season,
This season, yeah.
yeah, because we definitely haven't gotten one from Nick or Logan. So yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
That's even
and
better.
wait,
He was the
what?
first rookie in 2023 to get a podium. That's right, McLaren. Let's go.
Wait, hold on, wait. You're saying this like it's a surprising thing, though,
Yeah, no,
right?
I knew it. I knew it.
The
No, what did I say?
competition.
No, what did I say at the beginning when we started this podcast? I don't do stats and I don't do facts.
You just do feelings. You're sharing your
Exactly.
feelings. You're right. Hey, you're sharing your feelings right now. I shouldn't step on that. But no, Oscar Piastri has shown that he belongs. I'm a believer in his. I wish I joined this hype train a little earlier. You know,
Yeah. I mean,
I was
I wasn't on it, so
yeah, and we both should have been. One of us uh, was championing another driver who is currently not on the grid, but that doesn't matter. That's in the
mhm.
past. Um, but no, Oscar Piastri actually though, he outqualified his teammate. By the way,
Yeah. Yeah,
just to
front
throw
row
that out
too.
there.
Yeah.
hmm
But he all qualified, but he didn't beat.
Okay, and that's fair.
There was the instance where Lando was like, I'm faster, guys. I'm
Look,
faster.
that's true and all. It's Lando right now is currently the number one driver. He's the better driver.
Mm,
How long this goes on for, though,
yeah.
we'll see. because the talent is obviously there with Oscar Piastri, and man, I am looking forward to it. I love some drama. Love
These
it.
are gonna be good races.
Yep.
Yeah, also there was actually there were a couple, not every team, but so AlphaTauri fought each other in this race. Yuki and Lawson started out at the beginning fighting. The Mercedes fought each other. The McLarens. Did Ferrari fight each other at all?
Who knows with them at this point? Yeah. They were just out there. But no, this was a lot of internal battles going on here. Made for some fun races. Sometimes that is the best strategy. Just say, hey, you guys are free to race. That's honestly one of my favorite phrases in F1, hearing from the radio calls is that team message. You're free to race, and that's when you just, hey, all right, let's see what we got here, because it does usually lead to some exciting racing that we got, and that was the case there. Obviously, McLaren was free to race, and Lando Norris did end up cruising by his teammate. Now, on the topic of Lando Norris, and this might not be a fun conversation, but it's an important conversation that we have here, I think, right?
Yeah, okay.
Now, there's a driver on this grid by the name of Nico Hülkenberg. 200 races, 0 podiums. And he at one point did have a record for most points scored without any wins.
Oh, wow.
That record now belongs to one Lando Norris. So this actually is, honestly, it's a little cruel what's happening here for Lando Norris.
But he has podiums.
Okay, he has podiums, yes. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about wins. And this is where I'm trying to say that winning is really, really hard in this sport, okay? So I don't want to go in too hard on Lando Norris here. Okay. I was saying that it's a little cruel what's happening to him, though, because he entered this thing. Lewis Hamilton was dominating. Lewis Hamilton, whether he wanted to or not, passed that baton right to Max Verstappen, who is now dominating. It looks like Lando's career is just, unfortunately, coinciding with the two of the most dominant drivers we've ever had. And man, I don't know when he's going to get that win. Yeah. I don't know.
It might be 20. Yeah, I don't think it'll happen this year, but 2024, he's going to get all the wins.
Yep. And look, hey, I don't want to make it all doom and gloom. He's still a really young guy. He's on the younger side, I think 25, 24.
He's got to be under 26 at least.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the younger drivers that we have here. But at the same time, hey, his teammates right there too. He's even younger, and he's arguably more impressive at this age than Lando was at that age. Lando has also been, I think, with McLaren his whole career. I think at the end of the season, I definitely do want to dive into the numbers and see how their rookie seasons compared to one another. But hey, look, man, I know
Piastri does have a better car. I'm not going to defend Lando. Okay. But Piastri does have a better car now than maybe Lando started.
Okay. Well, I'm just talking about their performance compared to each other, rookie seasons. Rookie Lando was solid. He was solid.
Yeah.
But I think rookie Oscar is a little better. And hey, look, I'm not trying to set the stage here. I'm getting sidetracked here. Great weekend for McLaren. Awesome weekend. The future is bright. Speaking of which, if we can keep this on a positive note, actually, I don't think there's really an argument to be had here as far as the brightest future amongst teammates right now. It's got to be McLaren, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, we can agree on something there.
Yeah.
And positivity.
Can agree on positivity. Exactly. There we go.
Yeah. Good job, McLaren. Double podium. I wouldn't be surprised if we get that again, honestly. But yeah, let's leave that on a positive note before I spin it back on Lando and his unfortunate career. Anyways, lightning round.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So for those that don't know, we just throw topics and see where this goes. Who knows? Anyways, Fernando Alonso
Yeah. Honestly, Aston Martin in general.
Yes. So
Yeah.
look, I think earlier this season I was talking about how I think I asked you about Lawrence Stroll
Hmm.
and whether or not he values family or winning more because he's a billionaire,
Hmm.
and I think we left it as undecided.
Yeah.
Um, I'm leaning more towards winning here, and I would
Yeah.
not be surprised if Lance Stroll, maybe not next year. I think he's under contract.
Yeah, it's also the only open seat right now is the second Williams seat.
Okay, and yeah, we'll talk about that in a second too.
Yeah.
But now, those happy radio messages we got from our boy Fernando Alonso seems to
Yeah.
have gone by the wayside there a little bit,
Kind of
right?
dwindling. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, this is the real Fernando that we're getting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We're getting
Um,
back to the villain.
Now, another team that I would like to talk about for a little bit here is AlphaTauri.
Hmm.
Now, Liam Lawson finished ahead of Yuki Tsunoda.
That he did. That he did.
But at the same time, the AlphaTauri lineup is settled, right?
Yeah, they announced it.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, and that's where my feelings come in. I know we said I had a feelings and opinions. I don't like it. I know I don't like that Daniel Ricciardo is back. I recognize that he's a good driver, a great driver. Um, I
Now,
think I
if
think I like Yuki more for AlphaTauri, and I think Liam Lawson should have probably gotten that seat.
wow, well, honestly, Liam Lawson, I like to say that fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice,
Mhm.
shame on me. Um, this isn't that, okay? This is not another Nick DeVries situation.
Yeah, whatever the opposite of that is.
Look, I genuinely believe that Liam Lawson belongs in a Formula One seat, and it's only a matter of time here that hey, look, that Williams seat is open.
Yeah, I was
Well,
about to say, do you think he might get offered the Williams?
I I wouldn't see why. I don't see why not.
Yeah,
Because hey, it. I know who shouldn't be driving in a Williams next
yeah.
season, and that would be one Logan Sargent. Hate to
To
say
be
it
fair,
about our fellow Florida man.
he's only one season in. They gave Latifi two or three.
Yeah, and maybe, well, at least Latifi's dad was a billionaire who was funding the
Oh,
team. So he's got that
yeah,
going for him. I don't think we have the same thing from Mr. Florida Man, though. He's,
yeah.
you know, he's kind of just there. I mean, obviously, you don't get to a Formula One seat. Well, I
Without
take that
skill.
back. You can definitely buy your way into a Formula
Yeah.
One seat.
You at
But
least have
no,
to know how to drive the car a little bit.
exactly. Yeah, he did earn that seat. I do think there was a little bit of hey, we want an American in here, win some of
Yeah.
that audience over. Unfortunately,
Which
though,
which is I kind of think is what's happening with Ricardo.
possibly.
Because I feel like I feel like there's a big conspiracy to keep him in F1 just for his fan base.
Yeah,
That's what's upsetting me.
Daniel Ricciardo is, as they say, the most American Australian you'll ever meet.
Mhm.
And yeah, hey, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But I mean, Liam Lawson though, he will be in a Formula One seat very soon. I don't know if it'll be next year, but
2025,
he
hopefully.
should. I know that Logan Sargent probably shouldn't be. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's
Yeah.
only 20 seats available. These are the 20 best drivers in the world. Sometimes you got to settle with F2. That's just how
Yeah.
it goes. But no, anything else? Oh, there was a lot of DNFs this race, though. Um,
Technically two Red Bull DNFs.
yeah, which I learned is a thing that can happen. I was not hip to that rule of being able to come back into a race.
It felt like the
Um,
commentators weren't either.
yeah, oh yeah, there was a point where they were trying to figure out exactly how this affects the penalties and can they actually
Yeah.
do this, and that did make me feel a little better about it because I was like, all right,
Oh, they
if
don't
they
know
don't
either.
if they don't know what's going on, then I certainly don't need to know what's going on. You
Mhm.
guys just figure it out. Let me know if he's able to do it or not, and I'll be okay with that. Um, but no, all the DNFs we had. Let's see, it was Sergio, Logan
Mhm.
Sargent, both the Alex Albon,
Mhm.
Valtteri Bottas, and Lance Stroll. Kind of
Oh, none of the Haas went out. Okay.
none of the Haas. It was mostly, yeah, they they've kind of stepped it up a little bit as far as reliability.
Right, but Perez hit, I want to say Magnussen at the hairpin and spun him around.
Yeah, I don't know, that crash wasn't like too detrimental. I mean, it hurt
Yeah.
Sergio the most, I think, actually,
Okay.
just with all the penalty points that he got from that, and just yeah, I think he's getting dangerously close to a race ban with the amount of penalty points he's gotten. So
Damn.
something to watch out for there. That would definitely
That'd be a
add on
crazy
to the
one.
woes of Sergio Perez, who
Imagine you won the Constructors Championship already, and then one of your drivers gets a race ban.
all right, I'm just gonna say it, and I'll be out on this island. Sergio Perez wasn't happy that Red Bull won the Constructors World Championship. Nope.
Yeah. No. No, I
And
think you're right. Yeah.
glad to see it because I'm a petty person and I like to think people are equally terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes another episode of the Revved Up Podcast. We try to do this thing following every race. Make sure to join us, like, and subscribe. We will be back here following Qatar, the 2023 Grand Prix there. Looking forward to that 2 weeks from now. I don't think it's a 1 a.m. start race. I hope it's not.
1 p.m.
Oh, really? Look
Yep.
at that. East Coast time
West
zone
Coast.
friendly.
Yep.
Yes, that's all we need. But we'll be back then. Make sure to tune in. Deuces.
Adios.